Just for clarity, my speech is based off of the book Happiness is a Serious Problem by Dennis Prager. Abraham Lincoln once said, "We are as happy as we decide to be." When most people think of happiness, they think of it as a largely selfish desire. However, I am here to tell you that happiness is actually altruistic in nature. In fact, happiness, or at least acting happy, is a moral obligation. We owe it to the people around us to be as happy as possible. How pleasant is it to be around backbiting friends, a miserable spouse, or chronically grumpy teachers? We should regard a bad mood the same way we would bad breath or body odor. Get rid of it before going into public, please. Now, this doesn't mean we shouldn't share our feelings with our friends or our parents or our spouse, but it does mean that we should not inflict our bad mood upon them. Acting happy is a decision. How many times has your family been in an argument when the doorbell rings and the person in your family that opens the front door puts on a happy face until the stranger leaves? In another example, if I was to offer Principal Hicks $100,000 to be in a good mood for an entire week, could he do it? Of course he could. And so could every one of you. So it is possible. The wonderful thing about acting happy is that ultimately it will result in our behavior having a greater influence over our feelings than our feelings over our behavior. Let me restate that. This is key. If we make the choice to be happy, it will ultimately result in our behavior having a greater influence on our feelings than our feelings on our behavior. In the end, each one of us will feel an entire spectrum of emotions every day. But how much better would the world be if everyone presented a happy countenance to the people around them? Think of Nazis or terrorists or members of drug cartels. Great acts of evil are not done by happy people. On the other hand, there are countless examples of people who have struggled through cancer or depression or being a victim to a heinous past act of violence, and yet are still able to put on a happy countenance and positively affect the world around them. Abraham Lincoln himself suffered from chronic depression. Acting happy is truly a decision, and it is one that we are morally obligated to make. Therefore, it is my challenge to everyone within the sound of my voice to make the choice to show happiness to others, and thus become happier themselves. Thank you.